Shana Tova, Happy New Year. Isn't it exciting? So I just want to welcome everyone who's joining together in our community of prayer today. I am Rabbi Miriam Turlinshamp, the proud rabbi of Temple Sholom, and I'm so glad that you're all here with us. So welcome to our longtime members who support our synagogue, and we appreciate and applaud you. Welcome to our new Chavarim. We love that you're part of our congregation, and we rejoice with you. Welcome to the visitors among us. We feel lucky that you have joined us for these sacred days of prayer and celebration. Welcome to our LGBTQ families, to our single parents, to our seniors, to our multi-faith families, to our college students, and to all the dynamic individuals who are here with us today. Welcome Bench Altschuler, our fifth-year HUC rabbinic intern. And welcome to Dr. Allison Acord, our cantorial soloist. We rejoice that you are bringing our services to life with your exquisite voice. And welcome and thank you to Dr. Mark Bailey. This is his 30th year at High Holidays. I know. And many members of his faithful choir have been here about as long as that too, so we're so happy that you're all here with us. Welcome to our online community. We see there are 70 computers online with us tonight, so we're so blessed to have you joining us. Even though you're not part of our brick and mortar building, you are definitely part of our community. A special shout out to the ones that we know who's online, which is Jackie Bear, to Tom and Lois Ruby, to my mom, also out in Seattle. And if any of you want to shout out or want to include any names on a Mishaberach list, please just email us or check us out on Facebook and let us know that you're there. We're so glad that you're joining us. A special thank you also to Bob Zeke, Jim Kastrup, and Leah Gakudis, everyone on our technology committee, for your energy to ensure that all of us can benefit from a powerful sound system. Bob has been working tirelessly to make this possible for online and music, and we thank you so much for doing that. Thank you to our ushers and our police who strive to keep us safe, and to everyone manning a welcome table, greeting all who entered with compassion and inclusion. And especially thank you to John and Adam and Jan who helped set up this amazing forest that you have behind us. It's hard to change this space into a sacred space, and we thank you for doing that. And a particular shout out and thank you to our Sholom staff members, to Jenny Costello, Marta Highland, Laura Wright, Julie Solomon, and Batya Sullivan, who work tirelessly to make our home what it is. Tonight we pray together as one community, as one family. So take a brief moment and turn to the people around you, in the front, the back, to the sides, so that you can know the names with whom you're praying. Go ahead. Don't forget to ask where people are going for holiday meals and invite them. We turn back to our camera, which is over here. Bob's got it over here. And give him a big wave. Big wave from our community and our sanctuary to all who are streaming from your homes and offices and hospitals. Shana Tova, we love that you're with us. So a happy New Year. As we begin our service, I just want to emphasize the importance of turning off your cell phones. Not only are they distracting to the worship environment, but they also can affect the speed of our streaming. So when you turn off your cell phone, we ensure that those at home can stream with us seamlessly. As we begin our Erev Rosh Hashanah service, we acknowledge that each of us come to prayer with different needs and different modes of expression. Yet sitting side by side in a sanctuary, we hear the sounds of one another's praying voices as if they are our own. Every Jew is different, and yet together we realize the oneness of our faith. May this service offer you what you seek, strengthen your connection to your faith, and provide an opportunity of reflection and healing. We continue on page 11. The first mitzvah in the Torah is let there be light. So we are commanded in everything you do, be a menorah, a bringer of light. Live with honor, Act with integrity, do your work with passion, and the radiance of your deeds will live after you. May our ideals burn bright, forever unextinguished, and may we live our lives like the flames we kindle, always stretching upward, striving for the good, reaching for you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tziyanu lahedlik nir shel yom tov.
Source of blessing, eternal our God, you fill the universe with majestic might, teaching us holiness through sacred obligations, giving us the mitzvah of bringing the light on Shabbat and this festival.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehikianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazma hazeh.
Thank you. Source of blessing, eternal our God, you fill the universe with majestic might, giving us life, upholding the life within us, and bringing us to this time.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel yom tov. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
We continue responsively on page 12. To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to rejoice, a time to reflect, a time to return, a time to gather around the table with loved ones and friends, a time for song and silence, for prayer and confession to the open heart, a time to retreat to our sanctuaries within, a time to renew the life and spirit of our community. This is the season of attentiveness, a time to notice what has unfolded and what has not, a time to regret, a time to forgive, a time to remember cherished dreams and high ideals erased by reality. This is the season of hope, like mist rising at sunset, like dew descending at dawn. Our hopes beautify and nourish everything they touch. Our hopes make us partners in creation, pursuers of peace, people who aspire to a world of justice. This is the season of awe. When our eyes behold it, may we feel blessed. When we turn toward each other, let us feel strength. When we seek the holy, may we find purpose. May we find courage. May we find love. We continue on page 15.
בחסד יום חגנו.
We continue silently through page 19 with Hineni. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, yehi ratzon shenizke livrochtecha, בשנת 5,080, אלוהי עולם ברך אותנו ואת כל בית ישראל בחידוש ימינו, בשמחה ובשלום, בנחמה ובאומץ לב, בחילוץ עצמות וברוח איתנה, יהי פרי צוותנו מקובל ורצוי מלפניך. בפרוס השנה החדשה, לעד מודים אנחנו לך על מתנת החיים. O God, our God and God of our ancestors, may we know your blessing in the year 5080. Eternal One, bless us in the house of Israel with renewed life, happiness and peace, comfort and courage, resilience and strength. May the words of our heart be acceptable to you. In the new year that stretches before us, we are forever grateful for the gift of life. We rise together on page 20 with our call to worship, Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
We read together at the bottom of page 22. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your great name fills the universe with majestic might. Your word creates twilight and dusk. As your wisdom opens the gates of night, your discernment separates the changing seasons and causes the passage of time. The stars arrayed across the sky reveal your design. You roll out the cycle of darkness and light, shaping day and night. You sweep away day and carry the world into nightfall, setting day apart from nighttime. You are God of all we can perceive and all that is beyond our perception. Living, eternal God, be our sovereign to the end of time. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv ha'ravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, creator of twilight and dusk.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amech ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachenu, ufkumeinu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nisach b'divrei toratecha, u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki הם חיינו, לאורך ימינו, ובהם נגי יומם ולילה, נגי יומם ולילה. ואהבת קהל תסיר, ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. אוהב עמו ישראל. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Shem kevod malchuto, le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad.
Please be seated. We're on page 28. Join with me. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'otecha v'hayu hadavarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam B'shivtecha b'veitecha, uvlechtecha b'derech, uvshochbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha, uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha, leman tizkeru. Vasitem ekol mitzvotai, v'hitem kedoshim l'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, l'hiyot lachem l'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, Emet.
Good evening. I'm Rabbinic Fellow Benj Altshuler. We will continue on page 33. You have stayed long enough in this place, God said. Time to go forward. Turn your face to the future. Believe you can cross the sea and survive. Inside you is a Moses. Within you, Miriam dances, unafraid. Lift up your voice and sing a new song.
Adonai et Yaakov, ugalomiyar chatzak mimenu. Baruch atah, Ga Yisrael.
On page 36. Bless our sleep with peace, Adonai, and awaken us to life when we rise. With power sublime, spread over us your shelter of shalom. And through your wisdom, restore us, make us whole. Let your name proclaim your presence in our lives, be our shield. Make us stronger than the enemies we face, illness and war, famine and sorrow, and stronger than the enemies in our hearts, wickedness and sin. Carry us to safety as on wings, for you are the monarch of grace, the sovereign of compassion. You are the one who cares for us and sets us free. Watch over us, we who go forth to life. Watch over us, that we may come home in peace now and till the end of time. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu. Vel kol amo Yisrael va'al Yerushalayim. Blessed One, you spread over us a canopy of peace, a shelter of shalom over all Israel, your people, and over Jerusalem.
And understanding among us, let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashivenu,
Continue praising God with Chatzi Kaddish on page 40.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
ועלמא דברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלה בזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהא שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילם ימקום ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא ואמרו
Amen. We rise for tefillah.
Adonai sefata tiftach ufia ki tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei avotenu ve'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, Ha'gibor v'Hanor,
Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah Rav laHoshia, Morid ha'atal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim arvim, Somek noflim v'rofei kolim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Ishenei afar. Mi kamocha bal gevurot, Umido melach, Melech mebit umechayeh, Umazliach Yeshua. Mi kamocha el harachamim, Zoken yisurav l'chaim l'rachamim. Remar tatal ha'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom, Yahalelucha Selah.
You may retake your seats. I'm on page 53. You chose us with love to be messengers of mitzvot, and through us you made known your aspirations. Among all the many peoples, you gave us a pathway to holiness. Among all the great nations, you uplifted us and made yourself our sovereign. And so we seek you and serve you and celebrate our nearness to your presence. Your great and sacred name has become our calling. Baruch atah Adonai, HaMelech HaKadosh. Our God and God of all the generations before us, may a memory of us ascend and come before you. May it be heard and seen by you, winning your favor and reaching your awareness. Together with the memory of our ancestors, the memory of your sacred city, Jerusalem, and the memory of your people, the family of Israel, may we be remembered for safety, well-being, and favor, for love and compassion, for life and for peace on this day of remembrance. Favor us with words of deliverance and mercy. Show us the depth of your care. God, we await your redemption, for you reign with grace and compassion. We turn to page 65. After a long illness, I was permitted for the first time to step outdoors, and as I crossed the threshold, sunlight greeted me. So long as I live, I shall never forget that moment, and everywhere in the firmament above me, in the great vault between the earth and sky, on the pavements, the buildings, the golden glow of sunset, it touched me, too, with friendship, with warmth and blessing. And I remembered how often I had been indifferent to the sunlight, how often preoccupied with petty and sometimes mean concerns. I had disregarded it. And I said to myself, how precious is the sunlight, but alas, how careless of it we are. Source of blessings, may we open our eyes to the radiance around us. May we open our hearts with gratitude and our souls with appreciation. Shalom Rav, our song of peace on page 66.
Sing, the
We may pray at length, most ardently for the things we desire, but sometimes our truest prayers come in the most concise of ways. When Moses prayed for his sister that she might heal, he used but 6 words. Elna, Rafana La, please God, heal her now. There are members of our community that we wish healing in whatever form that may take, and we think of them now. We pray for Judy Avner, Jackson Bachman, Mira Barner, Corinne Belford, Sheila Boniface, Loretta Hubbard, Chava Leah, Leonard Appel, Tricia Farver, Ken Goldman, Dr. Merrill Goldman, Ethan Kadish, Gita Knudsen, Skylar Coons, Yael Kraus, Leigh Krinick, Elaine Heidfeld, Tony Jonitas, Ira Lerner, Lou Levy, Joan Lieb, Barry Levy, Marcy Maxwell, Ellie Mendelson, Rhoda Meyer, Eileen Ness, Nancy Newmark, Phil Ryan, David Rose, Betty Roth, Bob Rubin, Erin Reuter, the Santini family, Iris Schaum, Fern Siegel, Kathy Singh, Archbishop Chuck Smith, Lisa Steele, Mary Capoletti Stanton, Francis Sternberg, Mahalia Stoneman, Fran Victor Chaim Ben Yaakov Vinachama. And as you call to mind those for whom you wish healing, and you bring them into your hearts, or even share their name aloud at this time, we mingle our prayers of healing together. Elna Rafan Allah, please God, heal all our loved ones. This prayer can be found on page 73.
Pray.
invite us all now to take a moment for our own personal meditations, to revel in silence, and to pray with our whole heart. The world is a scary place, and it's only getting scarier. There are those amongst us who seem to thrive on fear, I think, utilizing excitement and heartbeat-inducing stimuli to feel truly immersed in the world. Some of my friends drive up to Cedar Point or maybe to Kings Island, ride the tallest and fastest roller coasters, pushing their bodies to the limits of physics. Others I know thrive on the shocking surprises and thrilling twists of movies that capture the latest reimaginings of horror and violence. The truth is, I don't like to join my friends at the theme park or the cinema, partially because driving through construction on Route 71 is enough of a roller coaster and horror show. But actually, I think there are enough things to scare us just when we turn on the news. The first time I truly felt fear I was leading a canoe trip through southern Wisconsin. I was put in charge of a dozen boats, about 30 people, relying on my guidance as we traversed down the river. What was at first a sunny day, smooth waters, slowly shifted throughout the afternoon. Ominous clouds rolled across the skies, the winds picked up, and crests of water beneath our boats started to get rather rough. We noticed fewer and fewer birds watching from the treetops, and so blowing my whistle, I led our group onto a sandbar and hurriedly directed the group to make camp. But without any natural cover, we were exposed to the elements, and the first drops of rain began to fall on our heads. And so with no time to set up our tents, we merely squeezed under a couple tarps overhead. I tried my best to keep a positive spirit by singing songs, while really I was just trying to count all the people there to make sure that everyone had made it safely. My fear in this episode was not because of the rain and not because of the lightning. It's not that I've never had a difficult canoe ride or had to make a quick change of plans at the last minute. I've had plenty of experience with that. I think I was afraid because all of the people relying on me to keep them safe. I don't have children of my own yet, but I imagine the spirit I felt that day as a camp counselor is only a small part of what parents must feel, praying that no harm come to their small loved ones. My fear was not for myself, and it was somehow greater. I could not console each of my canoers at the same time, and so I was stuck. Fear felt on behalf of others arrives because of powerlessness. If I could have stopped the rain and calmed the wind to render the waters smooth, I would have had no reason to fear. Of course, this is impossible. There are innumerable aspects of life beyond our control, from the weather in my story to the reckless actions of those who seek to harm us. Realizing this lack of control is itself a source of fear. In another chapter of my life, more recently, I was teaching religious school and faced with the task of preparing my students for a drill in the case of a violent intruder. It was not so long ago that I was myself a student in religious school, but this was not a task I ever had to do in my youth. This is something new, a new practice, one that is increasingly necessary. But the students, for their part, were not afraid during our active shooter drill. They're familiar with these drills. They do them frequently and without argument. Although I am glad for the development of emergency preparedness measures in schools, I do not want the next generation to be so familiar with possible gun violence that the prospect of preparing for an attack should be met without fear. If we teach our children lessons from our lives, they may go on to tackle bigger fears than we faced. But surely we cannot let their inheritance be the fears that we could not conquer before them. The intergenerational inheritance of woe was established long ago. It is evident in the story of the binding of Isaac that we will read tomorrow. Abraham is tasked with facing his greatest fear, giving up the one thing he's wanted most of all, his son. And yet the story as it unfolds, with father and son trekking up the mountain, is fraught with fear. Isaac inquires of his father, "Where is the animal that will be sacrificed?" Abraham replies with tongue-in-cheek, "God will see to the sacrifice, my son." There are no commas in the Torah, so we wonder, is Abraham speaking what he thinks to be the truth, that his son is to be the sacrifice? By the end of the story, God sees that Abraham is truly pious, a word which here means God-fearing, and so stays his hand, prevents him from committing the grievous act. Father and son lived to see another day, but we know that the next day would not have been the same after they had experienced this traumatic event. Isaac can never look at his father the same way. Abraham can never forget the look of true terror on Isaac's face. There is no going back. So from that day forward, they both knew fear. Fear can have positive and negative effects on us. When we let fears control us, we are restricted from living. But when we embrace fear, we learn about ourselves and have the opportunity to experience new frontiers. It was President Franklin Delano Roosevelt who famously quipped, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself." Such words are profound, and they cast fear as something negative, something to avoid. But it was his wife, Eleanor Roosevelt, who had another opinion about dealing with fear. She said, "Do one thing every day that scares you. By so doing, one can overcome fear through action and shift the realm of what is truly scary." Overcoming fear is emphasized at another point in our tradition as well. Nachman of Bratslav summarized the frightening human experience when he wrote, "Kol ha'ulam kulo, gesher tsar me'od, v'ha'ikar lo lefached klal." All the world is a very narrow bridge, and the most important thing is not to be overwhelmed by fear. This refrain, which you may recognize from song, reflects the folk wisdom still frequently espoused today. Fear is common, but should be avoided at all costs. There is no escaping the fact that the world is a scary place, and it is inevitable that we may, from time to time, experience fright. That said, even though we may physically or emotionally be traversing great heights, we don't have to look down. Returning to my tragic canoe trip. The truth is, the rain passed. We were able to set a more permanent campsite. We built a fire, we dried off, and had a peaceful evening. The rest of the journey was without incident, and recently some of the campers reached out to me and told me it was one of their most memorable summers to date. I wonder if fear brought us together, if this fear-inducing incident opened us up to truly experience the river, if fear put into perspective what is most important. My challenge for all of us is to recognize our fears. The only thing we have to fear is the stigma associated with fear. By working with our fears instead of avoiding them, we can amplify the blessings of our bodies, practice self-care, and build communities of resilience against the things in our world that are truly frightening. The whole world may be a narrow bridge, getting more narrow every day. Instead of focusing on our fear, let's help each other get across.
That was awesome, right? That was great. We're on page 75. And when you reach that page, please rise. We'll do this responsibly. We haven't forgotten Avinu Malkeinu, though we've overthrown kings and we disobey fathers, and we have no great liking for absolute power. Akiva stood before you in a time of drought, and his words went up like a flame on the altar. Avinu Malkeinu, you alone are our ruler. Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion for us. He was humble and forgiving, so his prayer was answered. Tonight we speak again in a time of drought. Dry ground beneath us, no water, only rock. Not a hunger for bread or a thirst for water, a hearts that are longing to hear God's voice. For the sea of faith is all but gone, the tide's gone out on the empty beach. The world mocks our hopes and life tests our courage. Why do the wicked live on and prosper? Why are you silent when they prey on the innocent? And if your dominion is kindness and justice, why is creation in so much pain? Avinu Malkeinu, sustain our souls. Send rain to our roots. Help us to find a way to pray. Make us humble and forgiving of ourselves and one another. Avinu Malkeinu, renew these words. Help us speak them with conviction and believe their truth. 100 generations have stood before the ark, and they lifted up their voices like flame on the altar, and they put their trust in kindness and justice, and they gave their strength to make the promise real. Avinu Malkeinu, we haven't forgotten. Avinu Malkeinu, bring us back to you. Avinu Malkeinu, ein lanu melech ela ata. Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, you alone are our sovereign. Avinu Malkeinu, lamanacha rachem aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, for your sake show us mercy. Avinu Malkeinu, aseh imanu, laman shemecha. Avinu Malkeinu, act toward us as befits your name. Avinu Malkeinu, shalach refuah shlema locholei amhecha. Avinu Malkeinu, bring healing and wholeness to the ill among us. Avinu Malkeinu, kra ro'ah gazar dinenu. Malkeinu, allay the harshness of the decree against us. Avinu Malkeinu, kotvenu besefer geula v'yeshuah. Avinu Malkeinu, inscribe us in the book of redemption and renewal. Avinu Malkeinu, zochrenu b'zichron tov lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, remember our goodness and call it to mind. Avinu Malkeinu, aseh lemancha v'hoshi'enu. Avinu Malkeinu, act for your sake and save us. Avinu Malkeinu, shma kolenu. Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, hear our voice. Avinu Malkeinu, chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, we have strayed and sinned before you. Avinu Malkeinu, chamol aleinu v'al olaleinu v'tapenu. Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and our families. Avinu Malkeinu, kalei dever v'cherev v'ra'av me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the onslaught of sickness and violence and hunger. Avinu Malkeinu, kalei kol tsar u'masti me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the reign of those who cause pain and terror. Avinu Malkeinu, kotvenu b'sefer chayim tovim. Avinu Malkeinu, enter our names in the book of lives well lived. Avinu Malkeinu, chadesh alenu shana tova. Avinu Malkeinu, renew for us a year of goodness. Avinu Malkeinu, chonenu va'anenu, ki ein banu ma'asim. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, answer us with grace, for our deeds are wanting. Save us through acts of justice and love.
Avinu Malkeinu, shema koleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu,
Page 78. We continue with the Kiddush in English first. Lift this cup for the year that is gone, for mountaintop moments and the taste of joy, celebrations shared, milestones met, all we've mastered and achieved since last we met, for wedding rings, tears, and kisses under the chuppah, new babies, first words, and first steps, for the children who bless our homes and bring life to our community, for b'nai mitzvah and confirmands, young teachers of this holy congregations, ours to cherish and guide with love, for beloved wives and husbands, sisters and brothers, for loyal friends who grow more precious with each passing year, for this community which nourishes us all, for all we've learned, for all we've struggled through, for challenges surmounted and disappointments met with courage, for last moments shared with those we loved and lost, for parents and grandparents whose memories are with us forever. We lift this cup for the year that is gone, for the year that begins. May we meet it with strength and unity and hope. We lift life's cup and celebrate survival, so we may sanctify each day that is ours.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'am, ורוממנו מכל לשון, וקידשנו במצוותיו. ותיתן לנו, אדוני אלוהינו באהבה, את יום הזיכרון הזה, יום מקרא קודש, זכר יציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ודברך אמת, וקיים לעד. ברוך אתה אדוני, מלך כל הארץ, מקדש ישראל, ויום הזיכרון. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. אמן.
L'chaim. We continue on page 82. We're going to do, We're going to do Let Us Adore, which is an older version of Aleinu, or it's a different version of Aleinu, and it's call and response. So just follow along, or you can do the Hebrew to yourself on 82.
Let us adore, let us adore
The ever-living God,
the ever-living God,
and render praise
and render praise
unto Him,
unto Him,
who spread out the
who spread out the
heavens, and
heavens
established the
and
earth.
established the earth.
Who
In the year 5779, we have encountered a lot of difficult things. We mourn the many acts of God. The Indonesian forest fires, the forest fires in Brazil and in California, the incessant rains and torrential floods in India, in Spain, in the Bahamas, tropical depression floods in southeast Texas and all through the Missouri River, and a tornado, avalanches in Banff National Park, the North American blizzard this past March that dropped 52 inches of snow, leaving thousands stranded. For our land, for our sky, for our oceans and rivers, we grieve. And all the more so we mourn for the many acts by man. The 290 killed in Sri Lanka hotel attacks, the 49 murdered in mosques in Christchurch, New Zealand, the 5 in Aurora Hills, the 12 in Thousand Oaks, California, the 11 at the Tree of Life in Pittsburgh, the 9 in Dayton, Ohio, the 20 in El Paso, Texas, the 6 in Odessa, Texas, the 3 in Gilroy, California, the 12 in Virginia Beach. I can't even name them all. Thousands and thousands of innocent people lost to rage and violence. We mourn for our country, the infighting, the lack of bipartisanship, how othered we have made one another, and how slow we are to change, and how powerless we have felt. We mourn for Israel, the calls for revenge, the screams of death to Arabs in Jerusalem streets, the rockets from Palestinian territories into Israel, the bulldozings of homes, the countless acts of retribution and bloodshed as a response to the senseless bloodshed of innocent victims. We mourn for our world and for our humanity, the many mothers who buried children. In the Orthodox Jewish tradition, a minyan of 10 men are required to be present for Kaddish to be said. A few years ago, after the funeral of 3 kidnapped and murdered teens, Rachel Frankel, the mother of Naftali Frankel, recited Kaddish with her husband for their deceased son. It was the first time that many of the thousands of people present, including members of the Israeli Knesset, President Netanyahu, and the many people watching the service from their homes, saw an Orthodox woman recite our sacred words of Kaddish Yatom. And in turn, it was the first time that many present, including Rabbi David Lau, the chief rabbi of Israel at the time, responded to a woman's prayer with Amen. Mourning changes us, and the tears of grieving humble us, reminding us where God truly abides, not in wars or revenge, but in community and in faith. When we say Amen, we share in the grief, we share in the burden, and we share in the hope. There is a poem by Yehudi Amichai that goes like this. Don't stop. After beating the swords into plowshares, don't stop. Go on beating and making musical instruments out of them. And whoever wants to make war again will have to turn them into plowshares first. To which we say, Amen. I'm going to continue with Psalm 23, and I'm going to read the English translation that's different than maybe some of us are familiar with. It's the translation by Rabbi Richard Levy, who was my mentor, dean of HUC in Los Angeles, and my thesis advisor, who installed me as a rabbi 10 years ago here in this congregation, and was a poet, and this is his translation. First, the Hebrew. Mizmor leDavid, Adonai ro'i la'achzar, binot deshet yarbitzaini. Omei menuchot yan haleni nafshi yoshvev, yan cheni v'gmal tzedek leman shemo. Gam ki alek b'tzeit al mavet, lo irara kieta imadi. Shivtecha umishantecha hamariyachamuni, taroch lefanai shulcha neget tzarai. Tishanta b'Hashem roshi kosib rayai. Ach tov v'chesed yirdefuni kol yemei chayai. V'shavti b'veit Adonai la'orach yamim. Adonai, my shepherd, I lack for nothing. In meadows thick with grass, you lay me down. Across streams serene, you guide me. My life you restore, leading me serenely in well-worn paths of justice to glorify your name. And even when I walk in a valley dark as death's shadow, I shall fear no ferocity, for you are with me. Your staff and your walking stick, they reassure me. You set a table before me along with my enemies. You rain rich oils round my head, my cup overflowing. For certain goodness and the love of your covenant will run after me all the days of my life, and I shall abide in God's house for long days, long, long days. Our thoughts turn to loved ones whose death has taken from us in recent days, and those who died at the seasons in years past. Our hearts are open, as well to the wider circles of loss in our community and wherever grief touches the human family. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing in this new year and always. As a community, we mourn the recent passing of Marvin Whitman, Rosalind Pomerantz, Betty Goldman, Beth Levine. And we commemorate the yard sites, the anniversaries of the passing of Bertha Barron, Morris Stein, Beverly Berman, Benjamin Plax, Sylvia Zimov, Albert Bryn, Ron Lutkin, Ethel Lerner Stromberg, Dr. Lenice Dolan, Pauline Spector. Are there other names of people that you're remembering that you would like to share or repronounce a name? If you are in mourning or commemorating yard sites, please rise first. We acknowledge you and we see you. And perhaps together you feel us reaching out to you, remembering your amazing loved ones. We rise together as a community of comfort for everyone we mentioned out loud, and those we hold in our hearts, for our world and our country, and all the people we love. We continue with words of affirmation on page 90, our Kaddish Yatom. Yitkadal v'kadash shemei rabba, v'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich machutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dachol v'Yisrael, v'agalau v'zman kari v'imrim. Yehei shmei rabba mevarach le'olam omei omaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, Vitadar, vitale, vitalal, shmei gedusha, le'ela ul'ela mikol berchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, ta'amiram be'alma v'imru. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Israel.
livracha. May their memories be a blessing. Please be seated. As we conclude our service tonight, I want to thank all of you who were part of it. Thank you so much to Ben Altschuler for your energy and your passionate delivery of sermon. It was very powerful us to hear. Thank you to our stream team. Thank you to Bob for bringing 85 computers, faces, people behind them into our space and allowing them to participate from around the globe. Thank you to Dr. Mark Bailey and your amazing choir and that gorgeous duet. That was just incredible. Thank you to Dr. Allison Acord for sharing your exquisite voice with us. Thank you to our ushers who stood guard there along with our securities team. Thank you to Stephanie Ryan, president of Temple Sholom, for your hard work leading our community and having a double header. She went to both services. That's extra credit up there. Thank you to our steering committee and our board of trustees and all those who serve on committees to help build the holiness in our Sholom community. Thank you to Adam and John and Jan for helping set this all up. And thank you to our staff once more, for Jenny and Julie and Laura and Marta and Batya, Rich Hordinsky and Bryna Bass for ensuring that today runs smoothly for all of us. It's really hard to coordinate a high holiday season, let alone multiple services off-site. So thank you for your grace and your commitment to our community and for always, always going the extra mile. Thank you to all of you who contribute financially to Temple Sholom. It's you who help keep our lights on and make days like tonight and days like today possible and sustain our community. If you're not part of the Temple Sholom family and would like to learn more about being part of our community, or if you're already a Temple Sholom Chaver and would like to learn more about ways to become more involved, just go back to that welcoming desk and Mara will hook you up. Please forget to return your machzorim, your prayer books, to the front table because we'll need them tomorrow morning. Thank you also to all those turning in, to our armed forces stationed all over this world who are praying with us tonight, to our police officers both locally and nationally, and to all our emergency personnel for keeping us safe. Your clergy and your president wish all of you a Shana Tova, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And as we continue, we'll conclude with Yigdal on page 96. We're doing verses 1 and 7, right? 1 and 7. Depart, if you could please connect to one another to receive a blessing. If you're not a toucher, just say no thanks, I'm not a toucher. If you're aligned, you can put your hands out, whatever works for you. I'm going to read on page 98 our blessing for a new year. Our God and God of all generations before us, may it be your will in the coming year to grant us a year of abundance and atonement, a year of blessings bestowed and received, a year of community and compassion, a year of delight and exaltation, a year of enlightenment, a year of friendship and forgiveness, a year of going up in gladness, the land of Israel, and a year of health and healing and humor, a year of inner strength and well-being, a year of joy and Jewish celebration, a year of knowledge and learning for its own sake, a year of love between parents and children, friends and spouses, brothers and sisters, a year of mitzvot and moments of sweetness, a year of nature protected and enjoyed, a year of optimism and hope, a year of peace, pursued with perseverance, a year of quiet and tranquility, a year of rain in its season, a year of song and spiritual growth, a year of Torah study and tikkun olam, a year of understanding and unity, a year of vows fulfilled and violence overcome, a year of wisdom acquired and shared, a year of coexistence among the families of the earth, a year of young and old reaching out to one another, a year of Zion aglow with a light for us and all the world. Our God and God of the generations before us, grant us a year of gratitude to you for the most profound of blessings, your gift of life. Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha. Shalom, shalom, shalom. V'yasem lecha shalom, shalom. V'yasem lecha shalom, shalom, shalom. V'yasem lecha shalom, shalom. V'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God's light shine upon you, be gracious unto you. When God's light shines upon you, may it bring you courage and strength to do your best in this world, because we need you exactly as you are. And together we say, Amen and Shana Tova. See you tomorrow.